I'm reaching for what I believe in, and I must never stop rising, rising, rising. Never stop rising.
Stuff. Kingdom culture. Kingdom music. Straight up. That's what it's for. You see straight up kingdom music on there. But then you go to some of these other websites and you're not sure, is it for sewing? Is it for music? Is it for food? What's going on here? And you can kind of throw people off. And I've noticed that happens. And there's this politics that people don't like to talk about, where people kind of feel sore at other.
Let's talk about it.
It's weird politics where people start feeling sore at other people for not either giving them the time of day, or they feel like, oh, you only want to work with these people you think are better than us. And you kind of hear these conversations. And especially in the kingdom sometimes, where you think, right, this conversation shouldn't be happening, but it's happening, where people feel funny or upset at other people because they don't want to work with them, whether you're a content owner or content, a platform owner or content creator. Either way, both sides seem to have an issue with each other.
Yeah.
And it's not normally brought to light that much, but it creates something, an issue that kind of slows things down for people who are looking for this stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the relationship problems, which leads on to my next question. What are the don'ts, before we really clarify the do's, what are the don'ts of the relationship? What are the don'ts? What shouldn't you do when interacting with someone else, before we go to what you should do? Because I feel like people talk a lot about what you should do, but don't really clarify what you shouldn't do. So let's start with that. What shouldn't you do on both sides?
I think that, all right, let's talk about platforms. I've got maybe an event space I like to put on events. People have come to me and they're like, check out our stuff. We reckon our band will be really good for your space. We want to put on an event here. And maybe it doesn't really gel with what I'm about. Cool. What I shouldn't do is, if we're talking kingdom, okay, this is very specific. Although I think this extends to anyone, to be honest. What I really shouldn't do is discourage the person that I'm speaking with.
Okay.
I shouldn't discourage them.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, they might not be for me, but I shouldn't be sending them a message to say you shouldn't be for anyone. That's not my business. Okay. What's good for me what's good for me might not be good for another person, and what's not good for me might be good for some other place or venue.
Right.
And to be frank, it's really not helping the relationships if we're saying, go away, you suck. Like, effectively, I'm not saying people say this outright, but when you boil it down and you look at it, like, what did they basically say? If we're basically saying, go away, you suck, like, that's not helpful. And I don't think we should be doing that in the kingdom.
Thank you for pointing that one out. Okay, you heard that, right? Anyway, keep going.
Other don'ts. On the other side, if you're a creator, you should not come with an entitlement mentality. You are not entitled to anything. Okay? Relationships based on entitlement suggest control, manipulation, and for those of you that really know your spiritual stuff, you will know that manipulation is witchcraft. So that's where it's basically coming from. Okay, it's a spirit of witchcraft. I made that connection. But that's what it boils down to. So like, if you're coming with entitlement, you're basically trying to control the situation. You're basically trying to say, I'm supposed to have this, and if you don't get your way, you throw all your toys out the pram. You're upset. Your feelings are hurt. And to be honest, it's not about you like that. Yes, you're bringing value to the table, assuming you have value, but you also have to understand other people have their own imperatives, motives, things they want to do.
Okay,
so if it doesn't match up with you, it's not the end of the world. It just means it doesn't match up.
Thank you.
Okay? Same way, like, you don't go around putting custard in, like, I don't know, your jollof rice. You can do it, but that doesn't match up. Most people would agree you don't do it. It doesn't match, does it?
No.
That's a mad creativity. But my point is that we shouldn't get upset now when like, that's basically what you've done. You said, here's my jollof rice. It will go with your custard. And they're looking at you like, what? No, I don't really think so. And so you should, you're not owed like that. And I think it's easy. I will say this though, because I don't want to bash anyone. Maybe they've gone through this. I just want them to get some clarity on this point. Because if it's actually not fair to yourself to go around thinking this way. You're actually hurting yourself. If you know what I mean. Like it's like someone going around assuming that everybody will like me. Like, no, don't go around thinking that. Like, go around with the truth in your mind. And then in saying that, it's just about realizing that you'll be right for some places, maybe not all places. Exactly. And when you've got that in mind, then you're more open to dialoguing. So I would say, don't have an entitlement mentality, and that goes both sides really. It's true. But also don't hold grudges, and don't there's no reason. I should say don't, but like I would advise you not really to get into like just fights effectively, disagreements where it's not necessary. Like you weren't working together to begin with. And the only difference is that you're not going to be working together. It's not like anything actually changed. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you were not working together, and now you're not. Although that can happen. But nothing actually changed when you think about it. The only difference is you were given information and you decided to act on it in a way that upset you. So that's one thing I would really cautious people not to get bent out of shape about, and it will solve some of the issues, not all of them, some of them.
Well, I like that. So just to hit on the final few points that I like. Don't be entitled. Don't hold grudges. Don't burn bridges unnecessarily. No witchcraft.
No manipulation.
Thank you. A few others, or did I miss, or is there a few?
I think those are some big ones, to be honest. That can help the conversation a lot.
For real. Thank you, man.
We can talk about some do's if you want.
Please,
So do come with a collaborative mentality. Like, come with the perspective of how you. I mean, some people probably already do this, but how do you think you can help them? So, like, think of it. Put yourselves in their shoes. Technically, if you're a platform owner, you should be putting yourself in the shoes of the people that are trying to grow, because ultimately. Like, that by giving them this time, giving them the opportunity to be on the platform, it could help them. And I use the word could. Maybe. Because nothing's guaranteed in this. But it could help them. So that is something that is a big kind of thing to kind of think, how can I help these people? What do I have to offer? And then the other person's like, what do I have to offer, these other people? A lot of the times we can come with this, not just the entitlement, but the kind of selfish mentality, which is, I suppose, another don't I missed out, don't be selfish. Because if you're coming about what I want to do for me only, I'm not saying it's wrong to think about yourself, but if you're coming to someone else with the intention being, I would like to get something for me, you become a step in that process to me getting what I want.
So the people you're going to are stepping stones.
They're not really people that we interact. So we dehumanize each other when we do that. Like, it's important to look at people, like, they have their own dreams, aspirations, goals. They were once at a point where they had to start from the beginning or whatever it was. Unless they were born with a silver spoon, in which case, well, anyway, let's not talk about that. But the point is that, generally speaking, people work to get to where they are. So appreciating that, respecting them as a person, as another human being, just like you, with feelings and thoughts, like, that can help. And that can be difficult, especially in the kingdom, because somehow we've kind of only got like a worldly model to work with. But I honestly think if you look at the best businesses, they do have good relationships. They'll go play golf together, they'll hang out with each other, all this kind of stuff. And I'm not saying we have to do that, but I'm just trying to show and illustrate that interpersonal relationships is important. So I think that's one thing we should do. We should kind of come with the attitude of, here's what I have to offer you. I am looking for like a platform to promote my music. So I think that, but in bringing this is how I think I can actually help you to expand. And maybe here's some other things I thought of that might be of use to you. Then it's up to them to say yay or nay to that. And you just have to take it on the chin. Like, this is the industry we're in. Okay, guys? Like, if they don't like it, it's okay. Like, You know what I mean? It's not for everyone. Like I said, remember that jollof rice and custard
Some
analogy?
people may like it.
Like, it just doesn't go for some
Yeah.
people. But for one strange person out there, maybe they want that.
just like it.
So, do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you got to kind of be flexible, and that will help.
Well, okay, a few last points on it that I picked up. Don't be selfish.
Yeah.
Take it on the chin if they don't want it. It's fine. It happens. It's not for everyone. Jollof rice and custard. It's not for everyone. Treat everyone as human beings. Treat everyone as you'd like to be treated, because we're all people. We all have feelings, and we don't, just like you won't like people to treat you, don't treat them that way. And who knows? There's always that opportunity for a great relationship or friendship to bloom from that, which is much better than just a business interaction sometimes. So, any other points that we missed on those?
Man, I mean, like, I feel like we just scratched the surface, because I'd love to talk about, maybe we'll do that in another video, I don't know, but like, I'd love to talk about what this whole thing should look like the whole thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, how do we get to a place where artists don't have to worry about being found because platform owners are working in such a way that this is just like, it's just flowing. Like, people know where to go. You know, think businesses are literally flourishing because they're taking advantage of platform owners, and platform owners are taking advantage of, and I don't mean in a selfish way, I mean like, there's opportunities. We're actually taking good advantage of the opportunities that are out there. You know what I mean? And we're doing it in a systematic and well thought out way. That's what I'd love to get into at some point.
Deep stuff.
Yeah.
I might just do that, you get me? Well, I really want to say, any last, finishing sentence for the people who are listening?
Yeah, I think if you're a content owner, definitely think about collaborations, think about working with other content creators, sorry. If you're a content creator, think about collaborating with different content creators, because the thing is, like, when there's a collective, that tends to draw eyes. Do you know what I mean? You can still do your own thing, but if you're part of a wider collective, that normally draws eyes, because it's like, okay, this is not just one person. You've convinced at least a few other people that you're not nuts. Like, that's the way I like to look at it. But like, but that says something. That says, okay, they're a crew, they're a bit of a community, and you can have a community around that collective. And I find that to be a good way. You know what I mean? Like, as you said, no one's an island, so. Do it. I'm not saying it has to be your main thing, but like, even just being part of something, a wider community, I think that's always going to be good. For the platform owners, honestly, like, just the regular folk out there are looking for something interesting to do. So seek out, put out posters, put out advertisements. Open your space up for an hour or two, once a week or once a month, or whatever works for you, and see what it does for your business, because not everyone can be paying for, like, what's
£250 for an hour session,
or even going to concerts and all this kind of stuff. Not everyone could do it, but maybe people just want a simple night out where, it's not even like a ticketed thing. Do you know what I mean? It's going to bring you in business, right? At the end of the day, do a nice deal on whatever you're selling, if it's coffee, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And people will come. They'll pay, because it's a deal. They get some music. Hey.
Exactly.
So that's what I would say.
Thank you, bro. Thank you very much. Please make sure you check out the website in the comments. Trust me. There's so much to it. Many crowns. Maya Matter. Hashtag that. Look them up. Check it out. Trust me, it's worth it. My bro, it's good.
Thanks for having me.
It was an absolute pleasure. See you on the next one.